If you're a senior shopping for an e-bike, you might find yourself a bit overwhelmed with all the options out there. E-bikes that are too powerful might be a little scary, while those that don't have enough power might cause strain that you'll pay for later. Similarly, it's pretty easy to overpay for an e-bike, but one that's too cheap might not hold up very well. We've taken our experience testing hundreds of e-bikes and put together a list of the best ones we'd recommend for seniors. These picks include e-bikes of various categories and price points to fit a bunch of use cases and riding styles, so there's likely a great option that will fit your needs. Come with me today as we talk about the best e-bikes for seniors of 2025. Welcome to Electric Bike Report. My name's John and I'll walk you through our top e-bike recommendations for seniors today. If you're not familiar with our channel, we're known for making detailed reviews of e-bikes after putting them through a series of standardized real-world performance tests. Whether you're looking for a retro-styled beach cruiser, a super stable fat tire e-bike, an electric tricycle for picking up a load of groceries, or a city bike that makes getting some exercise easier, you're definitely in the right place. We'll be talking about 12 bikes in this video, including those styles and more, so be sure to stick around for all of them, and please also hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on our new reviews. For each bike, I'll give you a few quick highlights that stood out during our testing. I'll run through some essential specs and performance data, and then I'll round things out with recommendations for who the bike is best for. And as a quick disclaimer, we were not paid to put any of these bikes on our list, and the brands we work with had no say in our selections. These are simply our choices based on our testing and hands-on experience. You can check out the link up there for an explanation of our range, brake, and hill tests, but to quickly run through the average results from the hundreds of bikes we've tested, they averaged 30 miles using their highest level of pedal assist and 57 miles using their lowest power level in our range test. They stopped in an average of 21 feet and 10 inches in our brake test, and they climbed the hill we use for our hill test in 1 minute and 28 seconds. One last thing before we jump in, we cannot do what we do without your help, so thanks for trusting our recommendations. If we're able to guide you in your buying decision, you can support our work by using the affiliate links in the video description when making your purchase. But with all that covered, let's dive into our list of bikes. Starting things off is the Velotric Discover 2. One of the biggest defining features of this bike is its huge level of customization. It has 3 different ranges of power for its 5 pedal assist settings, depending on how much effort you want to put in. You can totally switch up the feel of the ride by choosing between torque and cadence sensing modes, and you can even decide how the brake light works when you squeeze the brake levers. Next, we found this bike to be remarkably comfortable thanks to its ergonomic handlebars, its grips, its saddle, and its adjustable stem. It also has an upright riding position that doesn't put any strain or pressure on your back, neck, or wrists. Finally, this bike's value is super impressive. In addition to the customization options I mentioned, it comes with integrated lights and turn signals, plastic fenders, a high-capacity cargo rack, a cruise control function, a color display, and 4 really nice color options. The Discover 2 is a Class 2 e-bike with throttle and pedal assist up to 20 miles per hour, but it can be converted to a Class 1 or Class 3 through either the display or the Velotric app. It has a 750 watt rear hub motor with both a torque and a cadence sensor. Its range test results were 41 and 86 miles with a 706 watt hour battery. We clocked in a time of 1 minute and 17 seconds in our hill test. The Discover 2's average in our brake test was 21 feet and 7 inches. It fits riders from 4'11" to 6'4" with 2 frame sizes. Its total payload capacity is 440 pounds. The bike itself weighs 70 pounds with a 10-pound battery. It has a standover height of 17 inches, and it's priced at $18.99 at the time of filming. With so many customization options and power levels, the Discover 2 is really easy to recommend for just about anyone, no matter if you're looking to get some exercise, run some errands, or fit in more leisure time on your bike. These reasons led us to award this bike as the overall best e-bike for seniors for 2025. We think it's a great buy if you're looking to maximize the bang that you get for your buck, since there are so many features packed in, but it might also be a good option if you're looking for a bike that stands out and shows off some personality. Our next bike is the Aventon Pace 500.3. The first highlight to mention about this bike is its peppy and responsive feel. The Pace has a torque sensor, so its motor can change its output to give you more or less power depending on how you pedal. It can feel very controlled when you want it to, but it also has quite a bit of zip once you're feeling comfortable with it. Another thing to mention is its quick handling. This is the lightest e-bike on this list, so its low weight helps it feel extremely nimble and maneuverable. Combined with the peppy motor, this makes the Pace a super fun bike to ride, no matter what you end up doing with it. Finally, this bike has been around for a couple years, but it still has quite a few cool and relatively uncommon features. It has brake lights and turn signals integrated into the seat stays. It has a nice color display, and it pairs with the Aventon app, which allows you to adjust its maximum speed, sync ride and health data with Strava and Apple Health, and share photos of your rides with other Aventon e-bike owners. The Pace 500.3 ships as a Class 2 e-bike, but it can be set to a Class 3 through the Aventon app. It's spec'd with a 500-watt rear hub motor with a torque sensor. It gave us 35 and 68 miles in our range tests with a 614 watt-hour battery. It completed our hill test in 1 minute and 28 seconds. Its average stopping distance in our brake test was 19 feet 11 inches. The Pace 500 fits riders from 4'11" to 6'4" with 2 frame sizes for both the step-through and high-step frame styles. It has a total payload capacity of 300 pounds. It weighs 52 pounds, including a 7.5-pound battery. The ST frame has a standover height as low as 16.5 inches. And finally, the bike's list price is $17.99. We think the Pace 500.3 would be a great fit for riders who want a bike that's relatively easy to lift, transport, and move around. It weighs only 45 pounds with the battery removed, so it's not far off from the weight of a non-electric bike, and that makes it really well suited to being loaded up on a vehicle rack. This bike also has a lot of spirit thanks to its motor, so it's a good choice if you want a bike that can really help you feel young again. This is a great option for leisure rides, so if you want to spend more time enjoying the outdoors or getting a light workout, we think you'll really appreciate what the Pace has to offer. Next is the Lectric Xpress 500. At $1,000 this is one of the most affordable e-bikes on this list. So if you're looking for a really solid bike that doesn't break the bank, this is an excellent place to start. The Express has everything you need to get going, including a capable motor, a respectably sized battery, hydraulic disc brakes, and a suspension fork, so there's a ton of value included for the price. Next, I've got to mention how capable the motor is. Like many of the other bikes on this list, the Express has a torque sensor, so it feels really responsive, and it's plenty able to help you tackle hills without making you work too hard. I'll run through the data in a sec, but this bike actually ended up with one of the best hill test results we've seen from a bike of this style. Finally, the Express has a super customizable fit and feel. You can get the step-through or ST version that we have here with an upright riding position and an adjustable stem, or you can choose the high-step commuter style frame that has more of a forward lean. The Express 500 arrives as a Class 2, but it can also be set up as a Class 1 or 3 e-bike. It has a 500-watt motor with a torque sensor. The bike traveled 29 and 48 miles in our range test with its 499 watt-hour battery. It finished our hill test in 1 minute and 12 seconds. Its brake test stopping distance was 21 feet 2 inches. The Express 500 fits riders from 5'2" to 6'4" with 2 frame styles. Both frames have a total payload capacity of 330 pounds. The ST frame we tested weighed 61 pounds with a 7.5-pound battery. The standover height is 18.5 inches, and the bike starts at $999, but you can upgrade to a 750-watt motor and a 672 watt-hour battery for an additional $300. With 2 price points and spec tiers and 2 frame styles, there's probably a version of the Express for just about anyone, whether you want something that focuses more on comfort or maybe something a little sportier. The base model is plenty capable, but if you want the more powerful motor and larger battery and it fits your budget, you have that option too. Regardless of which version you pick, this is a great bike for hilly areas. Lectric's motors tend to be pretty peppy, and this bike's hill test result backs that up. Finally, if you're looking around the $1,000 price point, you're likely to find a lot of folding e-bikes. Lots of those bikes are great, but the Express might be a better fit if you'd prefer a budget-friendly, full-size, non-folding e-bike. Our next pick is the Ride1Up Portola. This is another e-bike with spectacular value, and it's technically the most affordable e-bike on this list with a price of just under $1,000. There's a lot packed in to begin with, but the Portola kicks things up a notch when compared to many similarly priced folding e-bikes. It has integrated lights, an 8-speed drivetrain, hydraulic brakes, a welded-on cargo rack that can carry 130 pounds, and a suspension fork with an impressive 80 millimeters of travel. Next, it's worth pointing out that this is the only folding e-bike we're including on this list. The Portola has a collapsible stem and a hinged frame that allows it to fold down and fit in a relatively small space, whether that be a closet for storage or the back of a car when you're on a road trip. We measured it to be 33 inches long by 19 inches wide by 29.5 inches tall once it's all folded down. Finally, I mentioned the high capacity cargo rack already, but I want to add that it can actually accommodate a passenger. Ride1Up sells an optional passenger package with a seat pad and foot pegs, plus the rack can be equipped with third-party child seats, so if you have grandkids you want to bring along on a ride, you're all set once you pick up those optional accessories. The Portola can switch between Class 1, 2, and 3 settings through its display menu. It's equipped with a 750 watt rear hub motor paired with a cadence sensor. We tested a pre-production model with a battery that isn't available now, but we used our range test results to estimate 16 to 35 miles of range with the standard 499 watt-hour battery and 21 to 47 miles with the upgraded 643 watt-hour battery. The Portola's climbing time in our hill test was 1 minute and 17 seconds. It stopped in an average of 20 feet and 9 inches in our brake test. It's advertised to fit riders from 4'10" to 6'4". It has a 300-pound total payload capacity. The bike weighs 62 pounds, including an 8-pound battery. It has an 18-inch standover height. And finally, the Portola is the cheapest bike on this list at $995, but the upgraded version with the larger battery sells for $1195. Now, we found the Portola's reach and seat post to be a little bit on the shorter side, so it's likely going to be best for short to average sized riders who want to pedal. It'll still work for taller riders, especially when throttling around, but just be aware that you might not get full leg extension when pedaling if you're around 6 foot or above. As a folding e-bike, however, we think the Portola is best for anyone who might be short on space or anyone looking for a bike that's highly portable. Folding bikes are great for the RV crowd, but they're also great for camping trips, national park visits, and all sorts of other adventures. The next bike on our list is the Radkick from Rad Power Bikes. Now, we tested the single-speed belt version of the bike, but we're specifically recommending the lower-priced 7-speed model for seniors. Where the single-speed model has a torque sensor that responds to rider effort, the 7-speed model has a cadence sensor that doesn't require quite as much active pedaling. Of course, you can still put in as much legwork as you want, but the ride will be a little easier overall, and then the 7-speed drivetrain offers a bit more flexibility for different types of terrain. We really like this bike's handling. It's relatively light for an e-bike, so it feels really agile and fun, and it rolls really well on its 27.5-inch street tires. And then finally, this bike has really solid climbing power with its 500-watt hub motor, especially considering its lower weight. Compared with similar city bikes we've tested, the single-speed model did great, and we'd expect the 7-speed to be even more capable when it comes to hills, both because of its gearing and its cadence sensor. The Radkick ships as a Class 2 e-bike, but it can also be set up as a Class 1 by disconnecting the throttle. The 7-speed version features a 500-watt motor with a cadence sensor. The belt drive version with a torque sensor gave us 25 and 38 miles in our range tests with a 360 watt-hour battery. It finished our hill test in 1 minute and 34 seconds. Its brake test average was 21 feet and 8 inches. It fits riders from 5'2" to 6'2". The Radkick has a total payload capacity of 275 pounds. It weighs 55 pounds, including a 6-pound battery. The bike's standover height is 17 inches. The 7-speed model sells for $13.99, but if the belt drive version sounds appealing, you can get that bike for $15.99. Because of its relatively low weight, this is a bike for those who don't want to deal with a lot of heft. Again, the weight helps this bike to feel nimble, but it also makes it relatively easy to load onto a vehicle rack or just move around in the garage. We think the Radkick is also a great choice for riders who prioritize safety. The bike's battery is potted, meaning that its cells are surrounded by a heat-absorbing resin to reduce the already low likelihood of a fire, but also, like all Rad bikes, this one feels very controlled and approachable, so it's great for anyone who hasn't been on a bike in a long time. Finally, the Radkick is perfect for those who prefer simplicity. It's a very straightforward and easy bike to operate, so if you want to avoid something with too many buttons and features that might be confusing, this one should absolutely fit the bill. This bike is the Aventon Aventure.2 ST. Now, as a fat tire bike, one of the big highlights here is stability. This bike is on the larger and heavier side, so yeah, it might not be the easiest to move around, but its weight helps it to feel really stuck to the ground, and its 4-inch wide tires keep it feeling really balanced when riding. Next, this bike has a powerful and responsive motor. It's paired with a torque sensor, so it can adapt to how you pedal, and that lends it to feeling nice and controlled. With 750 watts of power, it also has plenty of oomph to handle tough hills. The last highlight to mention is versatility. This bike can really do a bit of everything. So you can totally stick to roads or paved paths, but if you want to do some off-roading on multi-use trails or fire roads, the knobby tires and suspension will make those things possible. The Aventure ships as a Class 2 e-bike, but it can switch to faster Class 3 speeds through the Aventon app. It has a 750 watt hub motor with a torque sensor. It covered 38 and 56 miles in our range test with its 720 watt hour battery. It finished our hill test in 1 minute and 8 seconds. The Aventure's average stopping distance in our brake test was 20 feet and 2 inches. The ST model accommodates riders between 4'11" and 6'1". It has a total payload capacity of 400 pounds. The bike weighs 77 pounds, including a 9.5 pound battery. It has a 19-inch standover height, and its list price is $19.99. Considering this bike's sturdy feel, we highly recommend it for anyone wanting an extremely comfortable and stable ride. There's a really solid quality to this bike that helps it to feel super safe and balanced, and we've heard overwhelmingly positive feedback from seniors who have purchased one. And that's just one reason why this bike has been one of our top picks for multiple years in a row. We also recommend the Aventure for riders in hilly areas. This bike's hill test result is the fastest on this list, which just goes to show that you won't have to work hard to handle just about any hill you'll encounter. Finally, the Aventure's versatility makes it a great choice for those who want to be able to go just about anywhere and do a little bit of everything. And even if you don't know exactly what you want to do with your bike, this one works for anything from everyday errand running to off-road adventures and everything in between. The Euphree City Robin X Plus is our next bike. This is undoubtedly one of the most comfortable e-bikes on this list, so if you're looking for a super smooth ride, look no further. The City Robin is a cruiser-style e-bike, so it has a relaxed and upright riding position, but it also comes with both a suspension fork and seat post to make sure you're not thrown around by any bumps you might run into. Second, this bike allows you to choose how active an experience you want to have. It has both a torque and cadence sensor you can switch between, so if you want something that feels active like an analog bike, you can go with the torque mode, but if you want a more relaxed experience, you can switch over to the cadence sensor. Third, the City Robin has a bunch of uncommon features that dial up its ride quality and make it feel like a bit of a step up from many similar bikes out there. There's an auto assist mode where the bike changes power levels automatically. There's a cafe wheel lock and an optional passcode requirement for security. There's a welded on cargo rack that can carry up to 100 pounds, and even the brass bell on the handlebar sounds better than most. The City Robin X Plus ships as a Class 3 e-bike with pedal assist up to 28 miles per hour, but it can also be set up with a throttle that makes it a Class 2 and 3. It has a 500 watt rear hub motor with both torque and cadence sensors. It went 29 and 68 miles in our range tests with its 672 watt hour battery. It finished our hill test in 1 minute and 29 seconds. The bike stopped in 23 feet and 7 inches in our brake test. It fits riders from 5 foot to 6'1". It has a total payload capacity of 350 pounds. The City Robin weighs 66 pounds, including a 9.5 pound battery. It has a standover height of 17 inches, and Euphree sells the bike for $2,099. We definitely recommend this bike to any fans of the cruiser style or those who put a big priority on comfort. This is an ideal bike for leisure rides, so whether that means riding around the park, hitting the weekend farmer's market, or going to the coffee shop on the corner, the City Robin allows you to do it in style. We also think this bike is great for riders who really appreciate those little creature comforts. It's very clear that Euphree went to great lengths to make a bike that functions well, but also one with some luxury elements that make it stand out from the crowd. Finally, this is an excellent choice if you like customization. There are some nice color options like the Rebel Blue paint on our test bike that allow you to show some personality, but there's also an adjustable stem to help you dial in the fit, and then of course the ability to switch between torque and cadence sensors to find the feel that works for you. Our next e-bike is the Specialized Turbo Como 3.0. Now, we tested the 3.0 IGH, or internal gear hub version, that isn't available on Specialized website at the time of filming, and we actually had to send our test bike back, so we're recommending the regular 3.0 version in its place. As a Specialized bike, the Turbo Como is a premium option. Not only is there plenty of brand recognition that comes with this bike, but there's also an extremely high level of quality that you can feel in the ergonomics and the overall build. Specialized makes bikes that just feel great to ride, and the Como is no exception. Another highlight is the bike's mid-drive motor, which feels extremely smooth and natural. It engages almost immediately and cuts off just as fast, and the way that it delivers power makes it hard to tell that you're even riding an e-bike. The last thing that really makes the Turbo Como stand out is the specialized app and its security and customization features. The app allows you to tune the motor output, it has range optimization tools to help you get the most out of your battery, and it even allows you to disable the motor and activate a motion sensor alarm with the press of a button. The Turbo Como 3.0 is a Class 1 e-bike with pedal assist up to 20 miles per hour. It's equipped with a 250 watt motor with a torque sensor. Our range test results were 36 and 63 miles with the bike's 710 watt-hour battery. It finished our hill test in 1 minute and 48 seconds. It stopped in 19 feet and 2 inches in our brake test. Specialized offers 3 frame sizes for riders from 5 foot to 6'3". The bike has a payload capacity of 300 pounds. It's advertised to weigh 58 pounds. Its standover height is 14 inches, and the 3.0 model is priced at $3,000. We recommend the Turbo Como 3.0 for those who want the performance, feel, and reliability of a globally established brand. Specialized has been making bikes for over 50 years and e-bikes for over 12 years, so they definitely know what they're doing, and that's been really apparent in all the models we've tested from this brand. We also recommend the Turbo Como for riders who want an extremely natural feel. We think this bike would be great for leisure rides, but it's also a solid exercise bike thanks to its approachable power levels. Finally, this bike is great for those who enjoy integrated technology. The ability to tune the motor output gives you the opportunity to personalize the feel of the pedal assist system, and the security features make this a smart choice if you live in an area where theft is a concern. Next up is the Lectric Xpedition 2.0. Now, we're still waiting on our test bike to arrive, but we did get our hands on this bike at Lectric's announcement event. One of the biggest standouts of this bike is its affordability. We'll talk specifics shortly, but this is arguably the most value-packed cargo bike on the market. It has a ridiculously high weight capacity, it includes a few starter accessories for carrying passengers, and it has all the basics covered with a suspension fork, hydraulic disc brakes, a color display, and a real workhorse of a motor. For a second highlight, I want to focus on the bike's programming, which really blends the benefits of torque and cadence sensors. Now, this bike has a torque sensor, so it's able to adapt its power based on how you pedal, but Lectric's custom programming allows the motor to give you some push, even with very light pressure, and that really helps you get moving when the bike is loaded up. Lastly, the Xpedition is upgradable depending on your budget level and your desired range. The base model has a single 624 watt-hour battery, there's a mid-tier option with 2 of those batteries, and then there's a top-tier model that bumps up the capacity to a total of 1,680 watt-hours for a maximum estimated range of 170 miles. The Xpedition 2.0 can be set up as a Class 1, 2, or 3 e-bike. It has a 750 watt hub motor with a torque sensor. We haven't been able to run this bike through our full testing process as of the filming of this video, but make sure you're subscribed to the channel so YouTube knows to share our review with you once it goes live. Moving on though, the Xpedition fits riders from 4'11" to 6'5". It has a total payload capacity of 450 pounds, including up to 300 pounds on the rear rack. It's advertised to weigh 74 pounds with a single battery, with each battery adding an additional 9 pounds. It has a standover height of 21 inches, and finally the Xpedition's 3 price tiers are $13.99 for the base model, $16.99 for the standard dual battery option, and $19.99 for the long-range dual battery model. As a cargo bike, we recommend the Xpedition for anyone looking to spend less time in a car and more time on a bike. Passenger accessories make it easier to spend more quality time with the grandkids. Cargo accessories make grocery runs practical, and you could even use it for package or food delivery work if you find yourself getting bored with retirement. Bottom line, if you're looking for a full-size cargo bike that gives you the most possible bang for the buck, this bike is definitely for you. Even the fully upgraded model costs less than many other cargo bikes we've tested, which means that you can add in accessories and still walk away with some cash in your pocket. Our next bike is the Blix Sol X. This bike stands out because it includes a lot of really cool tech that we don't often find on bikes in its price range. It has an electronic shifting system, there's an automatic pedal assist setting that allows the bike to adjust its power level based on your pedaling, and there's also an optional automatic shifting function you can activate if you just want to hop on and focus on enjoying your surroundings. The second thing to mention is the bike's motor. It has a torque sensor, so riding the Sol X feels a lot like a regular bike, and it also feels really controlled. It has a 750 watt motor, so it's uncommonly powerful for a cruiser style e-bike, and that makes it really well suited to riding in places with lots of hills. Finally, I think that it's clear that this bike looks great, but it also has great handling and a very comfortable ride. The frame is pretty light, and the weight of the battery is centered well on the bike, so it feels nimble and very easy to maneuver. The Sol X ships as a Class 2 e-bike, but it can be set up to Class 3 speeds through the Blix Connect app. It has a 750 watt hub motor with a torque sensor. It traveled 38 and 86 miles in our range tests with its 614 watt-hour battery. The Sol X completed our hill test in 1 minute and 19 seconds. Its average stopping distance was 21 feet and 11 inches in our brake test. The bike fits riders from 5'1" to 6'2". It has a total payload capacity of 400 pounds. It weighs 61 pounds with a 7-pound battery. The bike has a 17-inch standover height, and its list price is $18.99. We recommend the Sol X for anyone seeking a high-tech leisure bike with premium features that won't break the bank. This one includes a bunch of things you won't find in many other places, at least not without shelling out quite a bit more, so we just think it's a smart purchase. This is also a great option for fans of cruiser-style bikes who might want something that looks a bit more modern than your average beach cruiser. Blix gives you 4 color options to choose from, including the seafoam green on our test bike, so there are classic options as well as a couple with more personality. Finally, this is a solid choice if you want a bike that's relatively light and easy to move around. The front end in particular isn't weighed down much, so it steers easily, and moving it around when stopped is a piece of cake too. Next up is the Electric Bike Company Model S. The biggest highlight with this bike is the level of customization that Electric Bike Company offers. When you're buying the Model S, you can choose from over 40 color options for various parts of the bike. You can pick from 4 handlebar options. You can choose a single or multi-speed drivetrain. There are multiple battery options, and the list goes on. There aren't many brands out there that give you this level of control over how your bike looks and comes together, so you really do get the option to make the Model S your own. Next, Electric Bike Company has an absolutely killer warranty. The frame and motor are both covered for 10 years, the battery is under warranty for 2 years, and even the paint has a 30-day guarantee against defects. If you're looking for a company that stands behind its products, this kind of comprehensive and long-term coverage is rare. Last but not least, the Model S is an extremely comfortable ride. In addition to having a strain-free upright riding position, it comes with a custom saddle that I always like to compare to a Lazy Boy. It's big and cushy, and it's likely going to keep you feeling comfortable even on extended rides. The Model S is a Class 2 e-bike, but it can be unlocked to a Class 3 mode through its display. It's equipped with a 500 watt hub motor with either a torque or cadence sensor. Our test bike had the upgraded 864 watt-hour battery, and it gave us 35 and 66 miles in our range test. Based on those results, we estimate that the standard 504 watt-hour battery would last 20 and 39 miles. The Model S completed our hill test in 1 minute and 10 seconds. It stopped in 19 feet 4 inches in our brake test. The bike fits riders from 5 foot up to 6'10". It has a total payload capacity of 420 pounds. Our test bike weighed 57 pounds, including a 10-pound battery, but weight will vary depending on customization. Standover height will vary too, but it goes as low as 18 inches. And the Model S starts at $15.99, but of course its price will also vary depending on how it's painted and outfitted. So this is the bike to choose if you want your bike to match your style. The ability to pick and choose almost every element of the bike means that you're getting something completely unique. We also recommend the Model S to anyone looking to support a US-based company. Many of the bike's components come from overseas, but Electric Bike Company paints their own frames, builds their own wheels, and assembles each of their bikes here on American soil, which is nearly unheard of in the e-bike industry. Finally, we recommend this bike for anyone drawn to the classic beach cruiser look and vibe. None of the other brands making beach cruisers are quite as iconic as Electric Bike Company. And now we have the Radtrike from Rad Power Bikes. Stability is really the biggest standout feature of this trike. Rad designed it to have the widest possible rear wheels while still allowing it to fit through a door. Plus it has 18-inch wheels to keep it really low, so it feels extremely balanced and stuck to the ground. The second highlight is the Radtrike's overall comfort factor. The C-tube angle makes it feel really ergonomic for a wide range of riders. The cockpit is nice and roomy, and the saddle has a backrest that slides both up and down and forward and back, so it feels great to ride and pedal. Finally, there's some intentional little elements that stood out to us. One of the biggest is the reverse throttle function, but there's also a powerful coaster brake, a set of adjustable BMX-style handlebars, and a really solid feeling steel frame. The Radtrike is a Class 2 electric trike with a maximum speed of 14 miles per hour, but it can be converted to a Class 1 by disconnecting the throttle. It has a 750 watt front hub motor with a cadence sensor. The trike went 25 and 59 miles in our range tests with its 480 watt-hour battery. Its climbing time in our hill test was 1 minute and 33 seconds. Its average result in our brake test was 10 feet and 5 inches. It accommodates riders between 4'10" and 6'4". The Radtrike has a total payload capacity of 415 pounds, including up to 60 pounds on its cargo rack. It weighs 82 pounds, including a 4-pound battery. Its standover height is just 13.5 inches, and it's priced at $16.99 at the time of filming. Speaking generally, we recommend the Radtrike to anyone with balance issues or any other physical limitations that might prevent them from riding a bicycle or e-bike. Those things should not stop you from getting out and about. So if you're looking for some other way of getting some fresh air and exercise, this is an option you should consider. With a low center of gravity and good ergonomics, this is the trike we'd recommend for those who care most about stability and comfort. We've tested a number of trikes that felt good to ride, but none have quite matched what the Radtrike has to offer. This is also a really solid option for utility. The high weight capacity and the ability to carry both a front and rear cargo basket make it well suited for running errands, picking up groceries, and whatever else you may need to do. The Lectric XP Trike is our final pick for this video. As we've already covered when talking about other electric products, value is really the key factor with the XP Trike. This is the lowest priced electric trike we've tested, but it delivers many of the same features and functionality you'd get on something more expensive. Another standout feature is the XP Trike's motor, which is centered between the rear wheels beneath the rider. This gives the trike great traction, and it also pedals very naturally. The trike also has high weight capacity, it can carry over 100 pounds of cargo, and the motor is plenty capable of moving that much weight effectively. Finally, we like that it includes some great safety features, including a low-speed beginner mode and a throttle with multiple speed limits. Safety is the #1 priority, so we appreciate anything that gives riders more control over their speeds. The XP Trike can be set up as a Class 1 or 2 trike with a 14 mile per hour maximum speed. It has a 500 watt motor with a cadence sensor. The trike gave us 40 and 54 miles with its 692 watt-hour battery in our range test. It finished the hill test in 1 minute and 40 seconds. It stopped in 13 feet 2 inches in our brake test. The XP Trike fits riders from 4'10" to 6'4". It can carry up to 415 pounds with up to 75 pounds on its rear cargo rack. It has a 14-inch standover height, and its list price is $14.99. We think the XP Trike is ideal for riders on a budget, so if you're looking to get the most value for your money, you aren't likely to find a better deal on an electric trike, period. The XP Trike has a folding frame, so if you're looking for an option that's relatively portable without the need for a vehicle rack, this trike has you covered. We also recommended this trike for those who want to ride on dirt or gravel multi-use trails. Most other trikes we've tested had street tires, but these have knobbier tread that makes the XP Trike a bit more versatile than most in where it can ride. We hope you found this video helpful. If we were able to help steer you toward a purchase, again, please remember to use our affiliate links in the video description to help support our work. And if you want more information on any of the bikes and trikes we talked about today, you can check out our full reviews here on YouTube or at electricbikereport.com. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and feel free to reach out to us with any questions you may have down in the comments section. But thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Again, I'm John with Electric Bike Report, and these were the best electric bikes for seniors.